This is going to be the first video for your Atlantic slave trade topic. And today we're going to focus on the triangular trade. But before we jump into that, we're going to look at a little bit of background on slavery itself, as slaves have been an important part of society throughout history and can be found as far back as Roman or Egyptian times. Slaves would carry out everyday tasks such as farming and housework. This was important because it allowed people like the Spartans the time to perfect their fighting skills, and the Romans the time to go out and invade other countries. But how does someone become a slave? Well, there were many reasons, but two of the most common were, firstly, to pay off debts which they owed or were owed by their family members, and secondly, they were most likely captured by a foreign country and sold on as a slave, as a way for that country to make profit. The Atlantic slave trade lasted a long time. It is believed to have started in the 1500s, around 1540, and end in 1850. It involved the kidnap and enslavement of millions of African men, women, and children by British sailors. The kidnapped Africans were transported across the Atlantic Ocean to places like South America, the Caribbean, and North America. In total, 50 million people were forced to leave Africa, with only 11 million surviving and arriving in America. So now we're going to focus on the triangular trade itself. There were three stages to this. Stage 1, ships would travel from Britain to the west coast of Africa. The crew would trade and take with them manufactured goods. These were things such as pots, pans, cloth, guns, and alcohol. Things which were valuable in Africa. They would then be exchanged for slaves once arriving in Africa. Stage 2. This took place from Africa, and then the ship would move to America. Slaves would be loaded onto the ship and taken across the Atlantic Ocean to America. Many slaves died of disease during this stage, with 4 million out of the 50 million slaves captured never actually making it across the ocean to America. The final stage, stage 3, was from America back to the UK. Slaves were sold at auction. The ships would then be loaded with products which slaves had grown whilst in America, such as raw materials like sugar, tobacco, coffee, and cotton. They would also take back a large profit from selling the slaves on in America. Once the ship arrived back in Britain, the process would start again. Overall, this took a good few months to complete. It is called the triangular trade because if you place it on a map, the 3 points from the UK to Africa, Africa across to the Americas, and the Americas back to Britain form a perfect triangle on the map.